X, thank you. Corey, thank you. Everybody getting value in here, I'm assuming. Everybody writing notes, pens looking on fire. Okay, cool. So we're gonna talk about building a coaching program, but I want to do it from the God model. Now, like I said, I'm a man of faith, so it's very vital for me to talk about this, right? Because I think that, no, I don't think, I know the Bible is the greatest business book that you can ever read. And so there's a lot of hidden gems in here that can definitely transform your life. And so I'm going to come from the perspective of the book of Second Kings, chapter 4. Many of y'all probably heard the story, Elijah and the widow. Um, and I think it's very powerful to read this because there's a lot of different types of gems and things that you can apply to your business right away as a coach, right? Now, before I even go into this, what I want to say to y'all is that when you start building a coaching program, you never build your coaching program based on what other people's coaching program looks like. That is the worst mistake that you can make as a coach. You build your coaching program from within, right? And I always tell people the greatest products that you can ever create come from your story, come from your pain, come from what you have accomplished, right? Because nobody is a better expert in your story than you, okay? And so always understand that, right? Before you put something out to the market, yes, look at the model, but don't replicate the model based on what you're seeing, right? And so for instance, if it's a 5-day challenge, that is good. Do a 5-day challenge, but make sure you incorporate your framework to it. And so there's different levels to it, and every single one of y'all should have this model. Now, whether you're looking to be a coach right now, a coach later, or you are a coach looking to scale, this is going to bless you, right? And so there's different levels to it. And so the first level of being the coach, you should have a freebie, period. Have a freebie. I don't care what it is. Ebook, a one sheet, a quick mini course. I don't care what it is. Give something in exchange to be able to get something back and start building your community. The second level, okay, is you want to have a product that's based between $27 and $97. Now, that can be an ebook, that can be a simple 3-day challenge, or it can be a simple masterclass, right? Nina, you can do, a 3-day trademark challenge, right? And what you can do is charge $97 for general admission, and you can charge $197 to $297 for VIP. Okay? Always understand. I know Liz knows this. When you pay attention. Okay? Now, does that mean that you neglect free? No. But as there's a point in your time as you build a brand and as you succeed at a high level that people are going to start knowing who you are and start respecting your time. Okay? And so something like that. Same thing with you, Terry. You can do 3 days of emotional intelligence, right? Boot camp or masterclass. Now, here's the thing that I will say to you, because I've had people in the past like, yo, coach, I ran the play. I only had one person. What do I do? What do you mean, what do you do? You still add value to that one person as if there was 500 people on that Zoom or 500 people in your actual class, okay? Always understand, when you over-deliver, you become overcompensated. When you over-deliver, you become overcompensated. If you over-deliver, you become overcompensated, okay? And so by understanding that, now you go to the third level. Now, that third level is something that's called a self-paced course. You can call it self-paced program, self-paced course, self-paced incubator, self-paced accelerator. I don't care what you call it. But make sure you let the people know that it's more than a course, but it's self-paced to where you can go through it and have the information for the rest of your life, okay? And utilize it step by step. Now, in that level, you will do 2 bi-weekly calls, okay? 2 bi-weekly calls. Nothing too much, nothing too crazy, right? Now, here's the quick hack. Within that program, you identify the top 2 to 3 people who can now remove you from it, and now you can compensate them for coaching it. So now you don't have to be there, and now you level up the business, and now people pay for more access to you. This making sense, right? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, cool, right? And so that would be a self-paced program, self-paced accelerator. Now, you go to the last level, right, which is what you're charging, 5K to 10K, no, 5K to 30K, 120K, all these different things. And the reason why that's vital, y'all, is because when you have something like that, every tier that you have, free, $27.97, $19.97, 5K to 120K, or I'll even say, as Myron Golden says, $1 million offer. People are paying for proximity to you. They're paying for access, Okay. And so that next level can probably be like, Liz, you can fly your clients out to come meet with you in a room like this, and they can spend 2 days with you, and you go over their business, the back end, the model, right? This is where you can start inviting, like, I can invite Xavier, I can invite Corey, come add some value to you so I don't have to do all the coaching. You see what I'm saying? And so you can collaborate. I can bring Nina in, right? And Nina will talk about trademarking for an hour. And so it's more access to you, and they get the one-on-one, but now you can end up doing like quarterly meetups in an Airbnb, right? And so now they're like, oh my God, I have all this access to Liz, Terry, Nina, X, Corey. It's like, yo, this is phenomenal, right? And so these are different things that you can put in place. So is that good? Do I need to repeat anything? You guys good with that? Okay. Awesome. You good, Liz? Okay, Queen. Okay, so I want to go over this God model, right? And so it says, a certain woman of the wives of the son of the prophets cried out to Elijah, saying, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord. And a creditor is coming to take my 2 sons to be his slaves. Okay? So this is how the prophet responds. Elijah, he says to her, the widow, what shall I do for you? Okay? Rule number 1, if you want to be a successful coach, listen more than you respond. Like, listening is the key for you to literally scale and grow your business. Every successful person who closes deals, who attracts clients, they attract them because they're good listeners. Your business can only grow at the level of your listening. Your business can only grow at the level of your listening, okay? And so Elijah didn't say anything but responded back to the widow with a simple question. What should I do for you? Right? That's how you should be saying to what your clients are, right? No matter if it's a schools, coaching, whatever. What can I do for you? Right? Tell me, what do you have in the house? Right? So he asking a series of questions. Now understand this, right? The more questions you have, the more currency you make. Questions are a form of currency. Okay? And so he's asked 2 questions. What can I do for you? And then, what is in your house? And the widow replied, your servant has nothing in this house but a jar of oil. Here's most people's problem. That's where God doesn't give them the increase or the overflow in their business to succeed, because you always come in with a but. See, the crazy thing about life is that when God gives you something, he's not going to give it to you the way that you want him to give it to you. And so there's going to be moments in your life where he's going to give you an egg on Monday, flour on Tuesday, butter on Wednesday, and at the end of the week, you have all the ingredients, and you're saying, God, give me a cake. And God said, I already gave you the cake. You see what I'm saying? Like, he already gave you the cake. So why are you tripping for? Right? You have all the ingredients that you need to succeed at a high level. And that's what people do, right? Like, God is asking you, yo, what is in your crib? Oh, I have nothing but a camera, nothing but a phone, nothing but internet, nothing but, my voice. Well, your but is the thing that's going to set you up for the ultimate success in your life. And so now when God comes requiring something more from you, it can't be a but. It has to be like, God, I have this camera. Show me how to work this camera. God, I have knowledge. Show me how to use this knowledge. God, I have wisdom. God, I have experience. Show me how to use it, because I always tell people, what you have right now is enough to be great. I'm going to say it one more time. What you have right now in this room, in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, is enough to be great. Because when God created you, he did not create you to be average, an average speaker, an average coach, an average trademark specialist, an average emotional intelligence consultant, an average educational consultant. He created you to be great. And so the best thing that you can ever do to repay God is to give back to him times 10 what he already gave to you to multiply in the first place. Okay? And so from now on, right, there's no more buts. Like, that jar of oil is all that you need to be great, right? Then here's the instruction, right? So here's the thing. Problem. What's the problem? Then once you know the problem, now you got to give an instruction based off the problem. And all you're doing is assessing what the client needs in your business. Okay? So this is what Elijah says. Then he said, go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you, and your sons then pour into all these vessels and set aside the full ones. Now, we're hearing instructions. The problem with most people is that when you get an instruction, you don't follow the instruction to the T, and you wonder why you don't receive the result of an overflow in your life. If somebody is an expert and they're coming to tell you, right, like Nina, when you coach people and you tell people like, yo, here is the steps for you to have an effective trademark to protect yourself. Have you ever had somebody come back to you and skip a step? Right? And guess what? Now they're aggravated, right? Because they're like, yo, I didn't get the result that I wanted. No. We ain't going to do that. The reason why you didn't get the result that you want is because you skipped steps. And that's what people do in life. You don't skip the step. You follow the process to the T. If I want to be a better person in credit, I'm going to follow it to a T, the person who's good in credit. If I want to be a better speaker, I'm going to follow the person who's already done it at a high exponential level, and I'm going to follow their blueprint to the T. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm doing exactly what they are doing and replicating it and remixing it to my own, okay? And so, borrow. If we listen to this, right, how can you borrow? When you invest in yourself, you're borrowing my information. Right? Like you're borrowing somebody else's information. It would make sense to use that to pour into your vessel, right? On top of that, he gave her another instruction. Do not gather just a few. Okay? Then he said, when you come home, right, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons. Catch this now. He didn't say just the widow. He said the sons, meaning that you don't have to do this by yourself. You're not that deep. Get you a team. And here's the crazy thing about it. When I first started, my wife was my first assistant. You got to use what's in the house. I didn't go out to Fiverr, Upwork, Online Jobs, PA. I looked right in the crib. I said, babe, can you handle these actual emails? Got you, babe. Done. You got to use what you got. Because here's the thing. Your business can only grow at the level of your management. If you're not managing, you're not going to succeed at a high level, right? And so Elijah literally told her, yo, you got a team. Have your sons do the pouring, right? Because you got the idea. Right? And then set aside the full ones. Now, so she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons who bought the vessels to her. And she poured it out. Now it came to pass when the vessels were full that she said to her sons, bring me another vessel. Okay? Now here's the good part. And he said to her, there is not another vessel. She didn't listen. How do I know she didn't listen? Because Elijah literally told her, don't grab just a few. But her mind comprehended, I just need a few. Because she became desperate. Rule number one in business, don't you ever come desperate. Because when you become a desperate, you become a slave to money. Oh, this is so good. This is so good, right? Like when you become desperate, you start making desperate decisions, right? Oh my God, my coaching business is not working. Oh my God, my speaking business is not working. It's not working because you're becoming desperate. You don't become desperate when you're a child of God. You don't become desperate when you're an expert. You don't become desperate when you're a specialist. Are you tripping? Do you not know the anointing and the calling and charisma that's on your life? And you tripping on, oh my God, they don't want to pay me my money. Well, guess what? Some will, some won't. Who cares? Who's next? Write it down. No, don't look at me. Like, write it down. Some will, some won't. Who cares? Who's next? This is what this is about, y'all. I ain't tripping. If you're not going to pay me, there's going to be somebody else who's going to pay me. And guess what? They're going to pay me much more because I'm not going to taint my anointing or taint my gift because you don't see the value in what I'm providing to you. I'm going to let that pause real quick. I'm going to you need to cut that off. Yeah, you need to cut that off.
I was about to get that if you didn't cut that off. You need to cut it. He's about to drop the
Instagram got 5, Facebook got 4.5. There you go.
I'm trying to help people because this was me. This was me, Liz. Like, I'm like, yo, God, I'm a child of God. And like what you were saying, Corey, like, I don't want to charge. And God's like, ain't that the reason why I gave you a gift so you don't have to beg me for money? Like, the reason why I gave you a gift is because a laborer is worthy of his hire, right? Now, the Holy Spirit is going to convict you and let you know, okay, Corey, I know you got 40 grand from this one, but this one right here you don't charge. And here's why you don't charge, because there's somebody else on the other side who has a child who dealt with a heart condition that is actually a father who's a overseer of a district, and that's going to connect you. Do you see? Like one of the things that I learned from one of my mentors is that we only see up the street. God sees up the street and around the corner. So when God's telling you to do something, he's telling you to see because he sees around the corner. You ain't that deep to see around the corner. See what I'm saying? And so, literally, he said, grab another vessel. So all the oil ceased. And the oil ceased because of her lack of following instructions. I know she only got a few, Corey and Liz. Because if she didn't just get a few, she would have had more oil to pour. But her mind comprehended, still in the mindset, but what if it don't work? What if I look crazy? Well, guess what? If you don't look crazy, that means it's not a God idea. If it ain't crazy, it's not a God idea. You feel me? It's not a God idea if it's not crazy. And so what I had to learn, X, is that we have to stop allowing people who are blind to proofread God's vision. We have to stop allowing people who are blind to proofread God's vision. It's not the way this works. God said, Liz, I called you to do a phenomenal level of communication and pour into these kids and pour into these adults. I don't care what anybody else says. I called you to multiply. I called you, Terry and Nina, to multiply. You feel me, Corey? And so here's the crazy part about it, right? Then she came and told the man of God and said, hold on 1 second, y'all. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay. So, verse 6, now came to pass when the vessels were full that she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there is not another vessel. So the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God and said, go sell the oil, pay your debt. The reason why you have a gift is to put yourself in a position of overflow. Your overflow is directly correlated with your level of execution. And so now she executed at a low level, could have been higher, Liz, right? But she executed, right? And so the problem that most people have, especially in the coaching space, is they're like, yo, God, I'm not getting clients. Or God, I'm praying to you and I'm not seeing nothing happen. And God's like, you're not seeing nothing happen, Queen, or you're not seeing nothing happen, King, is because you're not good at following instruction. I didn't tell you to come back to me with nothing. I told you to come back to me with overflow in what you have. So you have to use what you got to make it what you need, right? And so go, sell. So if anybody tells you that it's wrong for a Christian to sell, it's right here. It's telling you,